The Baryon Asymmetry Problem. Look around you, at your hands, the screen you're watching, the air you breathe, the very planet beneath your feet. Now, look up, at the moon, the sun, the distant stars glittering in the cosmic ocean. All of it, every single bit of tangible stuff we call matter, is a ghost, a cosmic afterthought, a glorious, beautiful, impossibly rare mistake. Welcome, cosmic travelers. Today, we are not just exploring a physics problem. We are delving into the greatest detective story of all time, a mystery that holds the key to our very existence. We are talking about the Baryon Asymmetry Problem, and I promise you, by the end of this journey, you will never look at reality the same way again. Let's rewind the cosmic clock. Not just a few million years or a billion, but all the way back to the very beginning, to a moment before time, as we know it, had meaning. The universe is born in a fireball of pure, undifferentiated energy, a singularity of infinite potential. In this searing, primordial forge, the laws of physics themselves are being written in real time. And in this chaos, something magical happens. Energy begins to condense. It crystallizes into the first particles of existence. But here's the first mystical clue. For every particle of matter that flickered into being, an equal and opposite particle of antimatter was its twin. Think of it as the ultimate cosmic symmetry. Matter and antimatter are perfect mirror images, perfect opposites, locked in a divine, destructive dance. They are yin and yang made manifest. When a matter particle meets its antimatter twin, they don't just bump into each other. They annihilate in a final glorious embrace, returning to the pure energy from which they came. A flash of light, and then nothing. Now, in that first furious second of creation, the universe should have been a frantic dance floor of matter and antimatter partners, finding each other, annihilating, and vanishing back into the void. A perfect, balanced equation. A beautiful, silent, and utterly empty cosmos. Which leads us to the single most important question you will ever ask. Why is there anything at all? If the recipe of the universe was perfectly balanced, we should not be here. There should be no galaxies, no stars, no planets, and no one to wonder about their absence. The universe should be a vast, empty, expanding void, filled with nothing but the faint, cooling echo of that initial fireball. But we are here. You are here. I am here. So, what happened? Somehow, in that perfect primordial symmetry, a crack appeared. A tiny, almost imperceptible flaw in the cosmic diamond. For every billion pairs of matter and antimatter that annihilated each other in that great primordial war, one single, solitary particle of matter was left behind. Just one. Out of a billion. Think about the scale of that. Imagine a billion brilliant, perfect diamonds, and for every billion, one tiny, flawed grain of sand remains. That grain of sand, that 1 in a billion survivor, is the source of everything we see, touch, and are. The entire observable universe, every star in every galaxy, every rock on every world, every living creature, is made from the ashes of that unimaginable annihilation, from that 1 in a billion remnant. This is the Baryon Asymmetry Problem. It is the question of why the universe displayed a favoritism for matter. Why was the cosmic scale ever so slightly tipped? For decades, physicists have searched for the culprit. They call the required conditions the Sakharov conditions, named after the visionary who first outlined them. To create this imbalance, you need to violate the very rules we thought were sacred. First, you need a process that treats matter and antimatter differently. Not a lot, just a little. A subtle prejudice in the laws of physics themselves. They call this CP violation, but let's call it what it is: a cosmic bias, a fundamental law of reality that, for reasons unknown, whispered, "Let there be matter," just a little more often. Second, this had to happen during a phase of the universe that was far from equilibrium, a chaotic, violent transition, like the universe cooling from its unimaginable birth heat. A calm, stable pond doesn't create new things. A roaring, churning waterfall does. And third, it had to involve a fundamental interaction that could change particle identities, a process that could transform one type of quark into another, subtly shifting the balance. We have found hints of this cosmic bias in our most powerful experiments, like the Large Hadron Collider. We've seen particles called kaons and B mesons behaving in ways that show a slight preference for matter over antimatter. But here's the crushing part. The bias we've measured is far, far too small. It's a whisper when we need a shout. It accounts for a 1 in a billion billion imbalance, not the 1 in a billion we need to build our universe. The known laws of physics, as magnificent as they are, cannot explain the world we live in. So, where does that leave us? It leaves us at the precipice of magic. It forces us to consider that the answers lie not in what we can see, but in what we cannot. Some theories point to the very first moments after the Big Bang, to a field that permeated all of space, the Higgs field, and its dramatic phase transition. Imagine the early universe as a superheated, perfectly symmetrical fluid. As it expanded and cooled, it crystallized into the reality we know. But what if, like water freezing into ice, this crystallization happened unevenly? What if tiny bubbles of the new reality formed, and in those bubbles, the rules were slightly different, allowing matter to win? Our entire cosmos could be one such bubble in a vast, frothing multiverse of nothingness. Other, more mind-bending ideas suggest that the missing antimatter isn't missing at all. What if it's hiding? What if, in that first instant of creation, the universe didn't just create a matter-antimatter imbalance, but also a geographical one? What if entire regions of the cosmos are made of antimatter, separated from us by unimaginable voids? We've looked, and we see no telltale signs of the annihilation fireworks that would blaze at the boundaries between such domains. But the universe is vast, and our sight is limited. Then, there are the truly mystical answers. What if the asymmetry wasn't created in our universe, but before it? What if our Big Bang was the result of something else, a collision of higher dimensional brains, or the death of a previous universe in a cyclical cosmos? In these scenarios, the seed of our material existence was planted in a reality that came before our own, a legacy of a forgotten time. Perhaps the most profound and magical idea of all comes from the holographic principle, which suggests that our three-dimensional reality, with all its mass and substance, is a projection from a two-dimensional surface at the edge of the universe. Information, not matter, is fundamental. In this view, the Baryon asymmetry problem transforms. It is no longer about missing particles, but about a fundamental asymmetry in the code of reality. The cosmic bias is a line of code written into the source of the simulation. The 1 in a billion survivor wasn't a lucky particle. It was a necessary variable for the program to run and for complex structures, like us, to eventually emerge and observe it. We are not just made of stardust, we are made of information. The mass of your body, the weight of a star, it's all a manifestation of cosmic data. The universe didn't just create matter, it rendered it, and for some reason the renderer was set to produce just a little more stuff than anti-stuff. This is where the mystery lives, in the gap between our current knowledge and the breathtaking truth. Every time we build a bigger collider, a more sensitive telescope, we are not just doing science. We are reading a creation myth written in the language of physics. We are searching for the original fingerprint of whatever or whoever set the initial conditions. The fact that we are here at all, asking this question, is a miracle layered upon a miracle. We are the universe, born from an impossible asymmetry, become conscious, and now turning its gaze back upon itself to ask, why? We are the children of that 1 in a billion chance. We are the voice of the ghost, speaking its own name into the silence. The investigation continues, and you are a part of it. Every time you look up at the night sky with wonder, you are participating in this grand quest. If this journey into the heart of existence resonated with you, if you felt that spark of cosmic wonder, then please, help us continue the exploration. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. It tells the algorithm that you crave more deep, mystical dives into the nature of reality. And I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think solved the asymmetry? A cosmic bias? A hidden antimatter universe? Something beyond our current imagination? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to go even deeper down the rabbit hole, to explore the idea that our universe is a cosmic projection, a hologram of information, then I invite you to check out my book, Holographic Multiverse. We explore not just the baryon asymmetry, but the very nature of mass, time, and consciousness from this breathtaking perspective. It's a journey to the edges of science and mysticism. The link is in the description below. Thank you for traveling with me today. Remember, you are not just in the universe. The universe is in you. Until next time, stay curious.